from the bottom with these woes. Got a key to open every door they close. You could do it just by doing what you want. Cause I did it just by doing what I want. Oh, you see the bigger picture. Get your camera phones ready cause I'ma take it with you. Damn, this moment feeling like the perfect mixture. Wrote my future in front of and follow like a scripture. From the ground going up, you know where I started. There've been moments where these moments left me broken hearted, but I just picked it back up, done me right, and shoot that three. Need like 50 defenders in defense, defending me. Yeah, I've been leveling up, check my background. I'm getting everything I deserve, no coming back down. I told you that I shot for the moon, but I missed, so I'm a star. Say I'm destined to win, you a king, that's what you are. I guess I gotta believe him, cause everything that been happening for a reason. And these days whenever I shine, I know my shine got a meaning. Yeah, these days whenever I cry, I know my smile gon' be gleaming. Yeah, now I believe it. Started from the bottom with these woes. Got a key to open every door they close. I got dreams of spending money on the roads, so when I flex on haters, I can really ghost. Talking to me, I already know. You see me up, I know you wanna get involved. You could do it just by doing what you want. Cause I did it just by doing what I want.
Yo guys, welcome back to the second part of the Plays Handbook to live streaming in South Africa. So in part one, I gave you guys just a little bit of a documentary type feel, a little bit of a background history of who exactly I am, ThendoPlays, and just some of the experiences and all of the obstacles and all of the trials that I had to go through to kind of get to where I am now. But I'm sure a lot of you were captivated by the story and now are just in this state where you're confused on how to even start streaming. Like, where do you go? How is it done? What are some of the things that I need? Well, that's exactly what part two is all about. What are the essentials to starting up live streaming in South Africa? All right, so we're gonna start off with yourself, right? Because always bring yourself to the party and always know that you're gonna be the main focus of your stream, and always show up to the stream. In the beginning, it's gonna be really tough, and the only person that's gonna push you through it is ultimately gonna be yourself. You're not gonna have as much chat interaction as you would like to start things off. But you're gonna have to just bring your own character and what you offer on to the table. So we're gonna dive straight into the software that most streamers go to for live streaming, and that's a little software called OBS. Now, OBS is a really snazzy software, as it's pretty much the control station to everything that you're gonna need to get started off with streaming. It's got all of your, video inputs, outputs, audio outputs. It will have all of your transitions that you'll want. It's just gonna have a world of possibility and functionality for you to use. And I don't want to dive too deep and explain every nitty gritty, detail to everything. But if you go online, search on YouTube for a bunch of videos on how to set up OBS, it'll show you everything that you'll need, because obviously you're going to have to optimize it so that your computer will be able to play video games as well as live stream at the same time, especially if you're using one single PC. We won't get into dual PC streaming for this one, but we're mainly going to be looking at if you're doing one PC. So you'll need to optimize and make sure everything runs smooth, especially in your game. Don't really care what game it is, Valorant, Apex, League of Legends, just whatever game you want to use, you gotta make sure all the optimal settings are in, and OBS is where you'll get every nitty gritty thing in and sorted. And then it comes to setting up your actual stream. You know what I mean? In terms of like graphics, alerts, all these fancy things that you'll hear a bunch of streamers talking about. Is all set through in OBS, and there's a little application that I like to use, and a lot of streamers actually like to use, called Stream Elements, and/or you can use Stream Labs, but I highly recommend Stream Elements to start things off with. And Stream Elements is pretty much your chatbot, and your overlays will also be included in there. You can make all of your overlays in Stream Elements. You can set up your chatbot You can set up your donation link. It's pretty much just another source and control panel for you to use to really kickstart your stream and get everything going. And that again, I don't even really want to explain too much about. I am just here to spark these ideas and thoughts in your head. Like, okay, in his video, he spoke about Stream Elements and Streamlabs. Let me go look up Stream Elements and Streamlabs and just go look at videos on exactly what that is. You know, when it comes to setting up your stream, you're gonna need a lot of graphics, and you can do them yourself. I personally do a lot of my own graphics and a lot of my own stuff by myself, but you can always reach out to other people, pay them a small fee to start up your stream and get a couple of graphics going for you. And it's never a bad idea to invest in yourself just like that. And it pretty much covers the basis of how to start off with everything. Like I said, I don't want to explain too much. There's a couple of certain key factors that I will tell you that you're gonna need to look out for as a South African streamer. And one of the first things that a lot of people struggle with, and these are one of the things that I want to highlight, because I don't want to speak too much about OBS and all those settings, because everyone's gonna have unique settings, and everyone's gonna have unique overlays, and everyone's gonna want to do unique stuff. You just have to do enough research yourself to find out what it is. But as a South African, one of the things we always struggle with, and I'm sure you all know it, is servers. We don't have servers, that connect to a lot of the things that you as a streamer would need. So, for instance, there's no Twitch server in South Africa that we can stream directly to. So what we use is something called a relay server. And I really want to highlight this because I get so many people that come and ask me, why do I have good internet but my stream is still dropping bitrate? And bitrate is another thing that you need to look into when it comes to setting up your stream. It'll be there when people explain to you how to set up OBS. And this is in no ways a tutorial. It's more just like information being thrown out at you. Just think of these things. Relay server, very important. You're gonna need that. You're gonna set it up in OBS. It's very simple. You set it up as a custom URL, and you use that relay server link to pretty much start off your streams. And the relay server pretty much is a server in South Africa that sends data faster to servers in other places in the world. So, for instance, in Europe, which is most likely where most data is sent to for us, so that you can stream at higher bit rates and get better qualities in your videos. Well, not your videos, in your live streams, but that's exactly what it is. And you can use this both on Twitch and I'm pretty sure as well on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of relay servers. Don't want to go too deep into it, but those are some of the things that you're going to need. Now, we're going to just jump into a really, really important segment here. And this is kind of what I really wanted to highlight with this handbook of live streaming. And it's a big problem in our community because we're still growing and it's still evolving and people aren't too sure. And it's Twitch etiquette, right? And it seems funny that I need to be making a Twitch etiquette kind of video in 2020, but it's a really important, it's a really important thing to touch upon what Twitch etiquette really means and what it means to streamers. So, in any form of creation, in any profession, in any aspect of life, there's always etiquette, right? And the etiquette for live streaming and just content creation in general, I want to say, is almost on the nail. It's always there in front of you. Like, it's always so simple to understand. I want to start off with things like self-promotion. And that's a really, really tough one for people to understand. And it's something that I'd like to really highlight and, just get across that self-promotion is never the way to build your brand and to build yourself as a stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably one of the worst things you can do, self-promotion. And by self-promotion, I mean going into streams and being like, hey, I'm a streamer, XYZ, come check me out. That's self-promotion. You should never do things like that. And there's a lot of unintentional self-promotion that will happen. out in the scene that people aren't really too aware of, and they think it's just conversation, but it's never just conversation. Rule number one to making it as a streamer is always always do things as legitimately as you can. And that is very, very, very important. Never bring down other people to get to where you want to get to. Always treat people equally. No self promotion. Those are the kind of things, just don't be shameless, is the word I want to use. Build a proper brand and a proper image for yourself as like someone who's part of the community, and is helping the community and trying to build a name for themselves in the community without really damaging or breaking the ecosystem of the community, because that's a really big problem, you know what I mean? And it's certain things as well that I don't need to touch about. That's just part of being a good person in general. Discrimination, racism, all of these negative terms and negative connotations is something that I personally flush out of my stream completely. If you come to my stream, it is, I want to use the word a wholesome area. It is a safe space for people to come and just have a good time watching and just relaxing. And that's what you want to create. You just want to be just a good person. You want to be supportive in what you want to do. It doesn't matter if that person believes in one way of doing things and vice versa. You don't have to shoot them down. We all have to work together, especially in South Africa. We all really need to just work together to move the ball forward, because you know there's only so much of us making this happen compared to other places where they have way more numbers, trying to help things happen. But here, there's only so much of us, and you don't want to get in everybody's wrong book, because that can happen so easily. Like, it's such a small community that one wrong move, everybody kind of gets to know about it. So you really need to research your Twitch etiquette. And I really don't want to, again, make this too long and explain nitty gritty things. But you go online, you'll look up a couple of things, and you'll really understand about etiquette. And it's always just about displaying respect to everybody that's around you. You know what I mean? And you really need to respect as many people as you can, and to really take you far in your journey as a streamer. So now you'll be asking me questions on equipment and how do I get started off with some of the equipment. And I'll honestly tell you that equipment doesn't always matter, but it will definitely improve a lot of aspects to a certain degree. To start off, I wouldn't always recommend getting the craziest stuff. Um, excuse me. Just get what works. You know what I mean? Just get what works. What will be, you will put you in a comfortable space to start creating the content that you want to create. And you never really have to always overspend. And I can go on and on about the low end equipment and the high end equipment. And again, there's just a thousand tutorials online where you can find out about this information, what budget will suit you. And my advice is always just know what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there. And then that's what you need to invest in yourself to get to that point, right? And a good tip is always, when it comes to buying equipment, always buy things that will ultimately improve your stream quality and benefit your stream. So for example, you don't need a chair like mine. You don't really need a racing chair to kickstart your stream and be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you could still use an office chair, and you could use that 3,000 rand that you would have invested in the chair to buy like a light, which is gonna ultimately improve the quality of your stream overall for everybody to watch. You know what I mean? So you gotta look at things like that. And that's why I say this handbook is more it's an experience of what I've gone through and just suggestions. It's not concrete word, and I don't want to ever display concrete word, because there's no such thing as concrete word. everybody has their own opinions. Everybody will give you different advice to what I'm saying, but there's certain things that you can just learn upon, and just do what you feel will help you progress your brand and build your stream and just build your whole entire persona moving forward. So now some pro ThendoPlays top tips, just a couple of tips just to end off quickly before we lead into the third and final part of this handbook series is consistency is king. You'll never really make it if you're not consistent. That's the sad reality about content creation. Some people get lucky and they can make a video every month, but the odds of you becoming that lucky person is always very slim, and it's always hard work that pays off at the end, even if it takes a really long time. Everybody's working on their own clock at the end of the day. We all don't end up dying at the same day, right? And we all don't end up making it at the same day. It's the same kind of concept. You just have to work, stay consistent as you can. You know, always build a strong community and never really get fazed by the ups and the downs of how things go, because that's bound to happen, right? It's just one of those things. There'll always be really high highs and really low lows and the in-betweens, but it's always about keeping a positive mindset, and that's the whole business mantra for me, is positivity. And even when things are bad around the corner, things are looking good. And you know, you just have to keep on your path and never stray away from the goals that you have. You know, and then just the one final thing that I'd like to say when ending off is, you know, always be willing to bend and shift and change, because things are always bending, shifting, and changing. There's always new people added to the experience that will change your perspective on how to do certain things, and you can't be stubborn and not take criticism from other people or see something working better for somebody else and try it for yourself. You know, you gotta understand that the journey is long. It's never, you know, 100-meter dash. It's more like a marathon, and every now and then, you know, take it at your stride, learn a couple of things to keep yourself moving forward. And that's just all the tips that I can give you for this final one. And with that, thank you for joining in for this quick little, you know, just a little bit of an essentials to Twitch streaming and where to get started off and how to just be a member of the community pretty much. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the third and the final part of the Plays Handbook to live streaming in South Africa.